So guys, Daemonxel back again with another Eve Frontier video. We are continuing our ship progression series. This one's going to be a short one because we are talking about the Lorha. That's right, the small engine that could. It is your go-to hauler currently in the game. Let's talk about it. All right, so we are talking about the Lorha. Yes, it looks like an H right here if you look sideways, but this ship actually was in the previous cycle, was called the Val back then. It's still, to this day, I'm still getting used to all of the new names of these ships. But this is the hauler frigate class that is basically going to be used a lot, especially if you are moving a lot or gathering your resources. But let's take a look at everything that you need for the ship. So let's go on over to our shipyard so I can show you exactly how it's built. Now, the animation on the ship, I always love this. And look at, it's just so many thrusters on this ship. It is just amazing. And now, for a hauler, it is quite agile. I will say that. The top speed is 305. We are not putting any afterburners on this currently. It is rigged just in case someone tries to catch us off guard. But let's talk about building it first. All right, so we're going to be going into the medium shipyard, which is where we're building all our frigates and our destroyer. Now, for the Lorha, it is going to take 2 hours and 18 minutes. So basically, a little bit longer, only by 2 minutes than your resource gatherer, the USV. It's going to take 58 blue blocks, 29 black blocks, and 29 orange blocks. Now remember, we are calling them blocks because first we get goo, we turn the glue into blocks, and then we turn the blocks into mega blocks, right? But for the actual name, it's batched. So these are all batched. And for the frame, we need a Bastion control frame, and then we'll be able to pop this bad boy out. Now, with the recent patches, with all the changes to the minerals, you should have no problem gathering the resources to build this in under an hour, I would say. All right, so let's take a peek at the Lorha itself. Nice little ship here. Oh, in and out there. Okay, let's go to our inventory menu. So, currently right now, the way I have this rigged, it is, well, it's a hauler. So we are putting all cargo grid 2s on this bad boy, and that's going to give us a total of 8,120 M3. Now, that is considerably more than our biggest frigate, which is the USV, which gets you 5,000 M3. So we're going to be moving a lot of stuff with this, and that's its purpose, right? It's a hauler. It has no high points, so you can't go ratting with this. You can't defend it. So the only thing we can do is we could put hull repairers on this, because obviously we're not going to put a shield regenerator on here. We're not going to put armor on this, because we want those low slots for the extra cargo space. That's the purpose of this ship. So with that itself, this is going to be the most M3 that you can move around until you build the cruiser, that mall ship, which is going to give you around 20,000 M3 to move, and that's just using 2 cargo grids on the lows. And as you can see, thanks goes out to No Moa K. Yes, Reaper, fellow content creator. I did borrow his ship to make this because I am amassing my blocks to try and build the mall ship. This way we can do that video for you guys. All right, so let's talk about the finer points of this ship, right? Structurally, you have 2,155 HP. We're not going to get more of that because we're not putting armor on this. We're not putting shields on this. Again, we're using it solely for moving things from A to B. Fuel tank wise, we have a total capacity of 2,508 units. I know there's additional 8 units. I don't know why either, but it's going to give us a little bit of range to jump around. Now, yes, this is going to have basically the same jumping range as your other frigates because it does share the same heat index, which is right here, 2.5, so it can resist heat. However, you have to remember that mass is going to come into play when we are jumping around. And since we're going to have this thing loaded up with basically all the goodies from whatever site we're working on, or if we're moving from, if you have multiple bases, moving stuff from one base to another base, it's going to weigh the ship down. So yes, it's not going to have a massive jump range and is going to eat fuel along the way. And just like the other frigates, we are going to be using a non-hydrogen-based fuel that is your EU or SOF fuel. And of course, like the other ships, without any role bonuses or ship bonuses currently, there are no resists inherent on this. There are, again, no armor or shields as well, because again, we're not running those modules. Now, our base mass is, before we put anything on it, is 31,369,320. We are up to 32.8 million. We can load this up with a bunch of things and see what that does, though. Let's load her up. All right, so with that 8,120 M3, we're going to use the heaviest items that we have. That is that batched carbon. That is the black blocks. We're not even going to be able to get all 60 in there. We're getting 54 in there. And let's see what that does to the mass of the ship here. We just had to refresh the info board because when you come out, it doesn't do that. So we are fully fully stocked up here right now, and it added so much mass. We are now at 49 million kg. So as you can see, this thing is not going to get very far jumping around, especially if you are in one of those further systems, which doesn't have a lot of interconnecting systems. If you're closer to the trinary, this would probably work out a lot better for you. As I was saying, this was a nimble ship. Its inertia modifier is 0.12. Again, fuel capacity is a good fuel tank on this thing. Remember, capacitor recharge rate is due to whichever engine you have in this. Right now, we have the top frigate engine, which is the Velocity engine. I recommend it for any frigate that you're putting in. I don't see a reason to put any other engine in there. If you see a reason, definitely let me know down in the comments below. Also, guys, again, remember, we are in the alpha state of this game. We are in Cycle 5. Everything is due to change after each wipe, right? Until the game goes live, everything is subject to change. And with that, if you do want to, jump in the game, play until it launches, get some free stuff. If you decide you want to buy the game and be a founder, go ahead and use the link in the description below. Use my referral code. Gets you some grace, gets me some grace. That's points that we get per cycle. And that's my shameless plug right there for that. So let's get back to this. Okay, so these are all going to stay the same. Again, we're in alpha. It's all the same for every ship. It's 100 km targeting range. Max lock targets is 5. The nice thing about this, though, the signature radius is 70, so you do have that small sig radius, like the other frigates, except for the half, which has 65. Scan resolution is 295. Again, no hard points or anything else on this. Okay. The ship warp speed is 2.99, but that's, we're moving things around. It's fine. Okay, so CPU, we, again, 32. We have 110 power grid. Again, there is no hard points on the top. Let's go ahead and warp so I can show you the warp speed. Let's just pick a asteroid field. Oop. As you can see, it gets up to warp speed pretty dang quickly. And we're off. Again, nimble ship. This is really a good ship for moving things around, especially if you are like me and basically if you're going to be mining out an entire range and making everything there. So if you're making your blocks, well, not your blocks, but if you're making all your goo there, instead of making several trips, you can have this ship throw everything in the hull, bring it back, 1 or 2 trips, and you're done. You can move on. So, as you can see, that's basically all we can really say about the ship. There's really nothing else really to do with this ship. It's just a hauler. It's going to get you from point A to point B with all your stuff. It's going to make your life a lot easier, again, until you move up to a bigger ship class. So, I hope you guys found this interesting. Hope this helps you guys out learning about these ships. If you have any ideas of anything you want to see me cover, let me know in the description. In the comments below. And until I talk to you guys again, like always, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Fly safe. And remember, here on the channel, we are always one vision, one purpose, one front. I'll see you guys in the next video.